Hello and welcome to today's daily response video. I'm Zara Rush, creative producer for People Make It Work, and today I'm delighted to be joined by our associate Kim Gowland. Hi Kim.
Hi Zara, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm sporting some leopard print today.
It's
How are you
fantastic, I
doing?
love it.
I'm liking your red vibes.
Oh, thank you, thanks.
So Kim, you are an executive and leadership coach. But you've had an extensive career in the cultural industry before that. Could you talk to us a little bit about your career to date and also that transition into coaching and why that was so important for you to do?
So I've worked in the cultural sector for about 25 years until last year. Um, Mainly I worked in museums and galleries, in marketing and audience development initially, and then I was a senior leader for about 13 years at Manchester Art Gallery, the Science Museum Group, MIMA, Middlesbrough Institute of Modern Art.
Mhm.
So had the most fantastic career. And I really loved that kind of people leadership side of things. I loved working with individuals. I loved building teams. And at various points in my career, I had amazing coaching, particularly when I was kind of struggling or going through big changes. And I thought that's kind of what I want to do, actually. So I retrained. I did the Institute of Leadership Management Level 7 coaching qualification, and I became an independent coach last year, actually.
Okay.
So I'm still kind of going, I think, through that kind of transition in some ways myself, as to being a businesswoman, being a coach. So, but I'm still kind of very connected to the cultural sector.
Yeah.
I coach clients in the cultural sector as well as in other sectors, and vice chair of a fantastic learning disability arts charity called Venture Arts in Manchester. And I'm helping them obviously through this kind of time of kind of major change, really.
Yeah. It's so much rich experience that you bring into and now apply to your coaching field.
I think that kind of that experience of being a senior leader, and and working for a long time and having been through a lot of those challenges myself. And obviously when you coach, it's absolutely not about your experience and you, but I think it gives you the context that you kind of automatically understand what people are going through.
Yeah.
And I think that does help a lot of the time.
Yeah. So with your work that you're currently doing in coaching with clients, how has this current change been transitioning what you do or emphasizing certain areas of
Mm.
how you're working with clients? Could you talk about a little insight into that and your experience right now?
Yeah, and I think it's a really interesting time. I mean, the reason I went into coaching is that I just really love helping people to kind of overcome their challenges and fulfill their potential and make positive changes in their kind of lives and their working lives and their wider lives, really. And I feel like this time is kind of really exacerbating that sense of kind of transition and change. And what I've found is that that's one of the key areas I'm working with people on.
Mm.
I've got some new clients who really needed that extra support, kind of working through this. And it's about kind of, living with uncertainty and living with ambiguity and, you know, kind of coping with that kind of loss of control, but also kind of taking the positives out of that. And coaching can really help you to kind of think through your situation, and it can help you kind of make positive changes and identify the things that that you want to do in the future, really.
Mm. Could you give us some kind of fundamentals that could help us think through at this time? We're all transitioning to, or we have had to transition quite quickly to a very digital working life.
Yeah.
Not much physical interaction. have you got some sort of key remembrances that could be important right now?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot, because I think being in lockdown myself, as well as everybody else, it's given me a chance to really reflect and learn from the people that I'm working with. And I think for me, there are kind of three kind of interconnected themes that are coming out of the work right now.
Mm-hmm.
One is about that kind of sense of self-reflection, and taking time out to kind of really think through what this time is bringing up for you, and what this time can mean in terms of things that you want to kind of leave behind, things that you want to take forwards when when life gets moving again. And it's really important. Everyone's really busy. A lot of people are really busy. Some people are not busy at all. But I think it's really important to recognize that taking that time out to reflect is just really important, to make the most of it. And I think the other thing that I was thinking was around kindness and self-care. It's Mental Health Awareness Week this week,
Yeah.
with kindness as the theme. And I think it's really important to do those things right now that nourish you, whether that's kind of meditation or yoga or writing, and it's about kind of getting a sense of perspective and connecting to the inner you, really. And it's important to kind of look after yourself, I think, before you can look after others. And I know that's very obvious, but sometimes we neglect to kind of look after ourselves, really. And part of the thing about the coaching, I'm really interested in well-being and the impact that we have on as leaders on kind of workplace well-being and workplace culture. And I think it's really important for us to, as leaders in organizations, to recognize our own impact and our own role in that, actually.
Mm.
And the third thing, I think, which is really connected, is about, as you very, very well said, we're on a digital world at the moment. We're connecting in almost in a kind of 2D way. And I think it's really important to kind of find those people that you can have really meaningful conversations with.
Yeah.
And that could be really good friends, it could be a mentor, it could be a coach. And it's about kind of thinking through what's going on for you, thinking through the changes you want to make, and making the most of the transition, really. I call them kind of lockdown buddies, and I've got kind of several of those. And it's really helping me to kind of frame, if you like, my journey as I go through the period that we're here. It won't last forever. So I'm trying to make the most of it. And I think what I'm doing with my clients is I'm trying to help them make the most of it as well. And sometimes it's about kind of breaking the habits of a lifetime. And this is
Yeah.
actually a really good time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the idea of lockdown buddies. In the past, I've sometimes had like gratitude buddies,
Yeah.
but people that you feel comfortable speaking to about the kind of positives and the negatives of the time,
Yeah.
that are going to hold and listen to conversation, so that you're actively listening to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's kind of sense of accountability as well for me. Because when I meet one particular lockdown buddy every Saturday morning after I had my Pilates class. We have an online Pilates, then we have an online coffee for an hour every single week. And what we always kind of, we're checking in with each other, but we're also saying, what do you want to achieve next? How can I help you? What
Yeah.
might stop you doing that? And because I know I'm going to be talking to her the next week.
Yeah.
I've done so many things that I've been putting off for so long.
Yeah.
Just, that sense of that relationship holder, if you like.
And often your friend will draw, your buddy will draw out things from you that you
Yeah.
won't necessarily think of yourself. I
And
love
I
that.
think there's that sense of a journey. We kind of, over the weeks that we've been meeting this particular buddy, I've got a few, as I said, I think we recognise that the journey of ups and downs that we go through. And that's quite reassuring in a lot of ways, that
Yeah.
You know, we're all going through our ups and downs,
Yeah.
you know, some more than others, I would say, and everybody's experience is really personal.
Yeah.
But it kind of helps, I think, to know that it's not unusual and
Yeah.
you're not alone.
Yeah. Kim, have you got any like go-to resources at the moment that could be useful to us?
I've been kind of really kind of working around, you know, a lot this whole kind of period of transition and change and everything. And one book that I return to kind of again and again is by William Bridges, and it's called Transitions.
Okay.
And it really kind of makes a distinction between the external change and the kind of inner psychological transition that we make. And it kind of helps you find strategies to making that transition and embedding it, because the tricky thing is kind of embedding it.
Yeah.
We all want to return to our safe worlds that we left behind, and I think, you know, we have to be very conscious of that, the fact that transition takes a long time,
Yeah.
and it's okay. And we have to kind of, as we said earlier on, it's about living with that uncertainty
Yeah.
and living with that kind of ambiguity about what the future holds
Yeah.
until you actually get there and you're off and you're flying. So I would really recommend that as a
Okay.
book.
Amazing.
Very thought provoking.
Yeah. Thank you so much for spending time with us this
You're very
afternoon.
welcome. It's so nice to talk to you and so nice to meet you.
I think a really important reminder around self-care and well-being that starts with you, the individual, but actually you can kind of use your people and your tribe to support you as well.
We all need it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kim.
You're very welcome. Bye bye.